This is Flipping the Script Podcast, the soon-to-be #1 leadership podcast for purpose-driven leaders and great guest experts who give us a unique insight into what leadership looks like behind the scenes. I'm Shalia Stafford, your host, and I'm committed to helping you lead your challenges using leadership strategies to gain new perspectives, fuel your growth, and transform the way you execute on your success. Hello, everyone. It's Shalia here. I wanted to take this episode to really explore a thought that I've been thinking about. And for those of you who know me, you know that I think about thinking quite a bit. And the topic that I want to really expound on that's going to make up quite a bit of our next few episodes is the idea of making our 80-year-old selves proud. This is something that I think quite a bit about. And knowing myself to put into action the ideas that I think about, I then go on to explore and read different books and articles and perspectives that go against mine and try to better understand why it is that I think, feel, and believe in taking action a certain way. And then I go look for experiences. Any kind of opportunity that will allow me to put into action what I believe is important to me and allow me to collect data and analyze that data and better understand why is this important to me. And sometimes those things end up becoming big aspects of who I am. Other times it reveals something that I didn't even think was important or could be important, whatever that might be. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Okay, along this journey of creating a conscious impact, it's really important for me to find foods that are wholesome, that fuel our body in the best possible way. And in that journey, I got introduced to oat milk. And let me tell you, I was not too happy with some of the varieties that I was trying in the store. They didn't taste like the oat milk that I loved making at home. I had an opportunity to try Willa's oat milk at Willa's Kitchen, and let me tell you, smooth and velvety. Tasted delicious with our espresso that we make every day, and even better, it fueled my day in the way that I needed to. Let me share a little bit more about their company. Willa's was founded by two sisters who were tired of plant-based milks that were mostly made up of artificial, highly processed ingredients and loads of sugar rather than actual plants. Plus, their grandmother, Willa's recipe, used real organic ingredients to create a deliciously smooth oat milk. And they thought, why not bring hers to the world instead? As they started on their entrepreneurial journey, they kept learning more and more about the way plant-based milks are normally made. Heavy processing, loads of food waste, and lots of funny business, including ingredients like rapeseed, canola oil that they didn't want to be drinking or feeding their kids every day. The biggest shocker that they found was that oat milk is typically made with oat sugar, and the best parts of the oats are filtered out. That resulted in oat milk with a super sweet taste, but without all the benefits of the oats. Willa's is made with the whole entire oat, which gives it a rich, smooth taste and maintains all the oat's proteins and prebiotic fiber and makes Willa's zero food waste. And it's not just a healthier, more sustainable oat milk, it's super tasty. That's why Willa's has been highlighted in Bon Appetit not once, but 3 times. Find Willa's oat milk at willaskitchen.com. That's WILLASKITCHEN.com or on Amazon. And with the promo code LEADERSHIP to get 20% off and support the podcast. That's promo code LEADERSHIP to get 20% off. But nonetheless, I know when I get to that point and I'm reflecting as my 80-year-old self on the journey that I have, I don't want to look back and think of regrets or limitations that I had because of limited beliefs that I held or the assumptions and judgments of other people who are never going to make it to the end of my journey with me. And whatever it is they thought, felt, and believed stopped me. Because I allowed it to stop me from pursuing the experiences in life that help me evolve into whatever next chapter that I'm going into, or just help me experience life in a way that feels authentic to me. That clarity gets more colorful every year. No, let me not say every year. It gets more colorful with every experience that I'm willing to challenge. Sometimes that's my own ego. Sometimes that's the ego of someone else. Sometimes that's my limited beliefs. And this is a practice that takes nurturing. It's really understanding ourselves at a deeper level and really thinking about why is the story that we're creating. The story that we're creating, for me, I know that I don't want to take myself too seriously. However, I do. And I always try to find new ways to prevent that from happening. I'm still working on it. And I do know that I want to explore understanding what it's like to create a life that is authentic to us and to create options around me that allows not just my family to flourish, but that forges a new path for my children. And that fills an experience bank that, quite frankly, my family just didn't have. You see, where I come from is the generational cycle of fixed mindsets, poverty, neglect, and the whole spectrum of what usually comes with that world. At some point, I thought that for me, breaking the cycle meant making more money, getting out of the zip code that we lived in, and just getting the title and whatever check boxes that we usually have in our younger teenage self, that once I got there, that would solve my problems. And I think I did a pretty good job. I feel pretty proud of myself when I look back at my career, thinking about what I accomplished there. But I got to a point where I realized there was more. There wasn't an amount of money that was making me any happier, and nor were the titles and the accolades that were coming with it. I felt that I had a unique experience in life and also in my professional experience. And I learned some things that I wanted to create an impact in a different way other than just helping corporations grow their corporate agenda, which is very important and is not to be minimized. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of great work that corporations are doing with their workforce. But for me, my path was not going to be competing in that arena, at least maybe perhaps not yet, and maybe perhaps in a different way. But when I think about my story and I think about my 80-year-old self, I think about what are the experiences that are calling me right now? And what are the different distractions that I need to remove from my life? Because look, along the way, we all get distractions and we all have to evolve our discipline and we have to explore new strategies that help us get closer to the life that we want to create. But the truth of the matter is, when I get to a fearful or uncomfortable or insert any other uncomfortable and negative emotion, it does take me a while to get out of it sometimes. And other days, on some days, I can apply some of the strategies that I know on self-awareness. But I am not just an analytical thinking creature. I am also, I'm spiritual, and learning to silence the noise around me, to listen to my inner voice has been a real difficult practice that I'm harnessing more and more, but I'm not at the expert level. And you know what? I don't ever want to be. I'm going to be exploring this adventure my entire life. And so how do we filter out the noise of all those people that aren't going to make it with us to the end of our journey? You know what? It doesn't matter what someone else thinks and feels about how you approach something, how soon you figure it out, or whether it's right or wrong, because they are not going to be there with you when your time comes. And nobody can give us back this precious time that we have. Let me talk to you about that time and the way that I conceptualize time. This one's a big one for me. When I think about life, I break it down into 3 stages. And obviously there's way more to this, and this means a lot of things to different people, but I'm speaking on my personal experience. From 0 to 18, we are children. Regardless of what experiences we have, and obviously this shapes us tremendously, but just looking at timelines here, from 0 to 18, we are kids and we are creating the basics of the foundation that's going to become our human experience. So that's 18 years of being a child. And then we go on the middle section of this experience. And this is the longest time span that you will ever lead, and when we have the biggest opportunity to evolve. But in this time frame, That's when we're 18 to 65. And that's because that's our working years. We spend 47 years of our life working. Now, obviously, we're not on the entire time, but the primary factor of influence in our time is our work, and our work is a big playground for us to experience all the different kind of ways that we can grow and the ways that we can also set ourselves up for sabotage, destruction, toxicity, and all the other parts that make us human. But nonetheless, we spend 18 to 65, 47 years working. And then we become senior citizens. And from here, it's 65 to, I don't know, if we're lucky. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. What's something you look forward to waking up to every morning? Is it coffee? Your pet? Maybe it's the face of someone you love. MeUndies wants to add to that list. Start your mornings with your favorite underwear. Not just any underwear, but ridiculously soft undies with ridiculous prints that make picking out underwear actually fun. Can we be honest? We all have to wear underwears. No judgment if you don't. But hopefully, beyond that, you are also wearing swimwear and enjoying this beautiful summer. And when the night is over, you have some comfortable loungewear to wind down your night. I had an opportunity to try a selection of items from MeUndies, and let me tell you, their bralettes, undies, bathing suits, and socks delivered. Not only were they incredibly soft, but they were also fun. MeUndies makes the softest fabrics you've ever put on your body, so you can sit on your couch all day or go out and live your comfiest life. Once you try their undies, socks, bralettes, and loungewear, you'll never go back. Choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes from extra small to 4XL. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you'll get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, enjoy up to 30% off virtually everything we make. Free shipping and returns on every order, early access to new launches, and exclusive member-only sales. MeUndies has a great offer for my listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. To get 15% off your order and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/leadership. The average life U.S. expectancy, they say, is, I've gotten two numbers, 76 and 78, but I'm a realist, so let's go with 76. From the time that we are set to retire at 65, if we go the traditional route, that's 11 years that we're senior citizens. And I know for me, in those 11 years that I am living my senior citizen life, I want to rest. I probably want to gain a little bit of weight, and I probably want to spend a lot of time with those closest to me, and I want to be an anchor to them. And I know how I want to experience life at that stage. And I know my bones are probably going to be tired. My mind is not going to be as sharp. I'm going to try to keep all those things up. But the reality of what I think or I feel might be true is that that's not the time where I'm going to want to push turbo on the experience that I want to have in life. When I look at those three numbers, the length of time that we spend, 18 years being a child, obviously with limitations, and the 47 years where we're working and figuring out the bulk of our life and finishing growing up. Because look, ain't none of us done growing up, because none of us made it out, me, you, anyone included, coming out of 18, being ready to take on the full capacity and complexities of adulthood. But here we are. Here I am. I am in the longest time span of my life. And this is where I want to push turbo on the experiences. This is when I want to front load every limited belief that I may have. I want to challenge every ego, that, including my own ego, that prevents me from living authentically. I want to explore the full spectrum of what I'm capable of doing. And I want to challenge some of the ways of living life that maybe have been societally put on us. And that's as simple as just wanting to experience minimalism, having less clutter, and making sure that for my kids and how I'm raising them, that I am more aware and conscious than my upbringing was. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And I know that my kids are going to have a lot of their own baggage to have to pick up from my parenting style, because I'm not perfect. And I do know that though, I am going to give it my all, the all that I possibly can, to help shape their experience and to help shape the experience within my journey, because I see this as an adventure and I get such enjoyment every time that I take on a new experience that challenges my ego and my fears. And I'm not talking about the fears like jumping off a plane, one that I get to choose. I'm talking about the deep embedded fears that live in me from some of the experiences that I've had. And on top of that, the fears that I get to choose. Regardless of whether we got to choose the fears or not, the impact is still the same. And understanding how to fill that gap requires me to jump into more experiences that help shape the adventure that I'm creating. Life is going faster, and it seems like it's going faster and faster every year. As my kids are growing, it turns out I'm growing too. And I'm constantly reminding myself to jump. But I need the data in order to incubate what matters most to me. I haven't fully figured it all out, but I have explored it in great depths because I've been fortunate to have some experiences in my professional and my personal life that have merged under the umbrella of different strategies that have helped me dive into the world of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, conflict management, and just exploring all kinds of tools that help us become more disciplined and focus with what matters most. So when you think about your 80-year-old self and what will make you proud, what is it that you are rumbling right now within your life? What is calling you? What do you feel that you are being too safe? Whether it's your own limited beliefs, your ego, or that of others that you're trying to minimize the impact. Let me know. I'm curious. I want to hear from you. To our listeners, the ball is in your court. I challenge you to take action, continue the conversations, and reach out to us online at goflipthescript.com. Email me. Let me know what you're thinking in regards to this episode and your 80-year-old self. Look, we all have courageous adventures ahead of us. I want you to go for it, and I want to hear about where you are in your journey. You're listening to Flipping the Script, Leadership Beyond the Title. We'll see you on our next episode.
If you found even the smallest nugget of wisdom in this episode, share it with a friend and your friend will thank you. Let's continue the conversation with like-minded leaders and join us on Facebook at Go Flip the Script. Until next time, I challenge you to incorporate what you learned today to evolve your leadership impact.